windows in this building will also turn black. Then all those columns are lit up. So you just get this view of a giant Greek temple going up to the night sky there. It's a pretty great view, they didn't know. Then a couple doors down, we have this tall plaid-looking building here, 35 West Wacker, home to the Leo Burnett Advertising Agency, called the Leo Burnett Building. Which represents another idea in postmodernism, to just take a small piece of architecture on a broader scale. This time taking the classical column and expanding upon it. You might notice the entire building with like some giant columns standing there. That's reflected in the base of the building. All the columns there.
Se ve como los de New York, ¿verdad?
And if you look off in front of us, past Morton's, the steakhouse, there's that green building, all the gold beacon at the top. And it's supposed to look like a giant champagne bottle. It was done by the Burnham brothers back in the Prohibition years, back when alcohol was banned here in the United States. They're said to have been missing their champagne bottles. Originally the Carbide and Carbon building, I believe now home to the Hard Rock Hotel. Now as we clear State Street Bridge, I'll draw your attention to the ground level. Off to the right, we do have Chicago Remembers. This is the largest Vietnam War memorial outside of Washington, D.C. It's right here now, straight off to the right. Then the building above it, the one with a dome in each corner, then the big center dome, was originally known as the Jewelers Building. It's done in 1926. The 1920s were fairly rough and tumble time here in the city of Chicago, and people were concerned for the jewelers' safety. That building was actually designed with a car elevator, so the jewelers could drive right into the building, and this elevator would lift them to their floor, so they could safely unload all the very precious merchandise. All this safety came into question when I learned that on the 40th floor in that big center dome, none other than the notorious Chicago gangster, Mr. Al Capone, was said to be running a speakeasy in those days called the Stratosphere Lounge. So yeah, gangsters up top, the jewelers down below. I'm sure it was all perfectly safe. But now we have this Hotel 71 here. You might notice a very slender white building that's attached to it. It is actually a separate building. It's known as Mather Tower. And I pointed out because Mather Tower was the tallest building here in the city of Chicago for just 1 week. And we're going through a pretty big building boom at the time. That building was topped off for the tallest. Then a week later, another building was a little bit taller. Now, we do go through these building booms from time to time. One through one, we got the Sears Tower, Aon Center, as well as the John Hancock Center, all within a few years of each other. Three of the tallest buildings as they stand here in the city of Chicago today. Up until recently, we're going through one with Trump's building going up there. We'll see Aqua up here in a few minutes. And a bunch of other condos and office buildings going around here the last few years. But now, if you remember that Chicago Tribune Tower contest, the winners will be coming up off Fletcher, Howells and Hood, Tribune Tower. Then directly across the way, the first building on this side of Michigan Avenue is 333 North Michigan Avenue. The building actually pays tribute to the second place design Tribune Tower contest. Second place design was done by Neil Saarinen. He did publish his design idea.
Seguro es el apellido de alguien.
This design, they realized that this is going to be the future of architecture.
El apellido de alguien, no sé.
Helped spread the Art Deco movement here in Chicago in the 1920s, so just a unique set of circumstances. Even though he was the runner-up in that Tribune Tower contest, his design ended up having more influence on architecture here. Now, coming up off to the left, get a quick glimpse of the John Hancock Center there. Some old big X's running up its frame, two antennae shooting out the top.
Es el que te dije.
If you missed the first time, get another quick view of it here in just a moment.
Acá está, no lo viste.
That is the
El que te dije que de ahí puedes ver el... De ahí puedes ver toda la...
Just 9 feet shy of the Aon Center, which is the...
Para que sepas cuál es.
And it's coming into view again here in just a second. Now, even though it is the 4th tallest building standing here in Chicago,
Una bandera de Corea.
they say you get the best views of Chicago.
Bandera esa, mira, que está allá. El que tiene la cosa, las cosas ahí.
More specifically,
Ese es el, de ahí puedes ver toda la
you go to
ciudad.
the 96th floor, the Signature Room Lounge, and you take a look out the window of the women's washroom. Now, I personally have never been. But it appears to me that everyone who has been there seems to agree it is indeed the best view of the city of Chicago. Now, from what I hear, they will occasionally invite gentlemen in to take a quick view out the window there, so not a terribly private washroom. But I guess you get a great view of the city, so you won't check that out if you have some spare time. Now, off to the right, we have this large triangular building standing here. Might be able to guess who it was done by. None other than Harry Weiss and Associates, the man obsessed with the triangle. It is home to the Swiss Hotel.
Really?
I'm sure. Harry Weiss actually did 2 triangular buildings here in Chicago. This one of them, the Swiss Hotel. And the other one, we don't get a really good view of from the river. But it is clad in stone, and it has very narrow windows. And it's actually home to our Federal Correctional Facility in the area. Now, I have not spent the night at either one of Harry Weiss's triangular buildings, so I can't really compare the accommodations. I do hear the Swiss Hotel, fine place.
It's funny.
Coming into view from behind the Swiss Hotel is Aqua. You see the top few floors peeking out from behind it. You notice each floor plate is uniquely curved and shaped. It's supposed to look like waves are rippling through the